All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Randomania. Tonight we have another battle in the Dragon Warrior Randomizer bracket. How is everybody doing tonight? I am Z-Man050778, and with me tonight in the commentator's booth is Up to NG. Up to, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing awesome. This is going to be a great one tonight. Got a round of 16 matchup. The number 1 seed, JJSchmidt77, the only runner in the tournament to start off at 5-0 through the Swiss rounds. And he'll be facing off against the number 16 seeded beeteas, who went 3-2 through the Swiss rounds. JJ started off by defeating Data Plet and then went on to beat the Alan Heffley and Azrael Ravenheart in the third round. Defeated Ness Cardinality in the fourth round in a close match there. And then in the only battle of 4-0s, he did also defeat Centroid 41 to arrive undefeated. While BT's dropped his opening match to myself, Up to NG, in the first round before defeating Jay Coper and then defeating the Alan Heffley, before dropping his second match to Tilo in the fourth round, and then did win the fifth round to secure a spot in the brackets against It's Too Early. Went on to defeat Lavkian in the first round of the brackets to arrive here in the round of 16. So we have a good matchup tonight, and I'm excited. Let's see how this one starts off. Looks like from the early stats, we have some poor strength, but all it takes is maybe a good level 1 spell or a good early item to turn that around. So what do you think, Z-Man?
Yeah, I agree that the starting strength stat is, well, let's just say not ideal. But at least the good news is they do have some starting HP, so they might be able to get lucky with a Draki kill early. I mean, they're going to take some shots, but they'll give some too. So I mean, they're certainly looking for the red slimes or the Draki early enough. I don't know if they're going to be able to get a damage on a Draki with five strength though.
Yeah, 5 is the second to worst starting strength you can have, and actually, you're not very favored against the Drakey here. So slimes and red slimes only if they don't have anything else to go with these statistics. It's nice they do start off over 20 hit points, so a longer protracted battle. Let's say they have an herb or something like that, they could probably take down a Drakey or a ghost in a very long battle. But yeah, it's except for that, there's not much else to be that's going to help them here. Yeah, 5 strength is going to be the major challenge. But again, we don't know what spells necessarily they're starting off with, and we don't know what's in the throne room. So that can give you a wide variety of strategies in the first 5 minutes. And here we go.
All right, let's see what we get here. Now, I mean, ideally, they're going to find an Erdrick sword here to overcome that low strength stat immediately, but we shall see. So what do we have here? We have gold. That's a nice little find. We have, so we're going to have 2 magic keys here in the throne room. So let's see what they do with them. Oh, and they have the return spell. That's even better.
And interestingly, the return spell does not enable you to do the level 1 grind. So JJ declined to use the return spell. Because the gold, you can go over and buy more keys immediately. So I kind of like JJ's strategy here. You can use your second key to buy more keys with the starting gold, and you still have that level 1 gold grind available if you get lucky about which chests you open in the throne room without running out of keys in this case. So interesting start here.
Yeah, I really like JJ's play here with this setting up for the gold grind possibly. And also note that we do have a cave just north of Tantagel Castle. It is the bonus cave, and it also has a magic key in it. So we have keys everywhere in this state.
Yeah, and BT's checking out the early cave and just kind of looking around a little bit in case there is a town to spend his gold on. He didn't get any extra gold. There is gold in the bottom right in the treasury here, so potential gold grinds are available. And we have a level 1 gold grind initiated for JJ Schmid. Unfortunately, we don't see a town nearby, but if there is one, he can really get moving with some great equipment. It's all a matter of how far he wants to go. How much time does he want to spend grinding this gold with no knowledge of whether or not there's a town or any equipment to buy nearby?
Okay, and BT's is also going to dip into the treasury here with his 3 keys now, and he will find 2 gold chests, and we haven't seen the middle one, and that is more gold. Jeez, gold everywhere in this seat. How about that? Golden keys. This
Not
is a
too
really
shabby.
nice. No, this is a nice start. So right now they're definitely looking for a town. And it's definitely gonna be interesting to see how far JJ goes here. Is he gonna go to the 32,000 necessary for the best stuff in the game, or is he just gonna stop somewhere short and maybe go for like a broad, full plate, large shield combo?
Yeah. So he's already got enough for a silver shield, and he may end up stopping when you have a combination. Yeah, 20,000 will give you a combination of things. You can get the flame sword and the magic armor and the large shield, or you can get the broadsword, the full plate, and the silver shield. So that's what he's decided on. He's going to save this gold because at 5 strength, especially if you don't find a whole lot of slimes and red slimes, it could take a really long time to get off the ground if you don't get some equipment. So, and we have an early metal slime for BTs, and it's not going to run away. This is huge.
Yeah, this is going to be gigantic for BTs because their strength is just not enough to make the metal slime run. So the metal slime is going to stay there. So now it's just a matter of getting those hits, and there is the third hit.
Oh my goodness, this is a huge development. He doesn't even need this gold anymore. He's going to get straight to level 6, 26 more power. Will enable him to fight all the intermediate enemies that we saw earlier with the wolf nearby. He doesn't even need to find a town necessarily right now. He is off the ground. A huge lead now for BTs.
Now it's going to be interesting. I didn't see that spells. We have heal more and hurt more, and there's a town.
Yeah, this town was pretty far away, but he will probably be able to get to it. Could pick up some defensive equipment here. With hurt more at your disposal, you don't even necessarily need a weapon anymore. But we also have a search spot here. It's Cole.
Speaking of defensive abilities.
Oh my goodness, this is an incredible start for BTs because that town is not necessarily very close. It could, in theory, take a half an hour before JJ finds that town. And JJ now is working on red slimes just to get off to level 2 here. And at level 2, he does get 11 power, so that will help him get moving. But he's carrying around all this gold in the meantime, so he seems to be sort of... Yeah, no, he's north of Tantigo, so this is not the direction of Cole. And he may end up resaving this progress also. And there is another herb that he could grab, I think, out of the treasury. This is a kind of a gross spot for JJ if there's no town nearby.
Well, Cole wasn't exactly terribly far. He just has to go through the desert. And the nice thing is JJ already has 20 agility, so he's going to be able to run from a whole bunch of things. So he might be able to get to Cole if he follows the right path.
I think he is going to make a stop and grab this herb. I think one of these chests I think had an herb. There's a little bit more gold in here also. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's the herb. Because you just want to be able to run just a little bit further if you're looking for a town that's not within striking distance. And there's some swamps nearby that he might try and run through. He did save his game, so if he runs in through a swamp and ends up dying, he can reset. But meanwhile, BTs is making all sorts of progress now with that hurt more spell, and the lead is growing.
JJ taking on a magician rather easily. Can't take out the metal scorpion and can't run the first time. All right, so he's just going to now kind of go around the outside of the swamp, seeing if he can't see anything, which there's not going to be anything there.
Yeah, we already know it's technically possible to get all the way over to Cole, but it's hard to make a really significant run like that. He's just trying to kind of make broader and broader circles around the castle so that if he had to, he can maybe go back and, and resave and maybe re-heal. He can keep getting that one herb out of the treasury, but right now I think he's going to just take this one hit point, see how far he can get, and potentially reset his game from his save file. If he can at least see, he's going in the direction of Cole. If he sees it, oh, and here's a metal slime for JJ, but he only had one hit point, and down he goes. This is an interesting development. Does he go back into that forest, or, oh my gosh, what does he do now?
And something to note over on BT's side that we actually hadn't seen yet. BT's actually checked what was underneath Tantigel Castle, and it is the rainbow.
Okay, so it's good to know where that is early. So we have the Stones Cave right nearby, and then we have the Rainbow Drop Cave directly under the castle. And beeteas is already just exploring the map as far as he can go in all directions. And I feel like JJ is going to intentionally camp out right over here where he found that metal slime. At least I think I would try for it. And this is where he found it, right here in this forest.
And there it is.
There it is! And I think, does he have the herb? Does he have an herb? Or did he already use it?
He did reset, so I'm pretty sure he has that herb at his disposal, but doesn't look like he's going to need it.
It's close here. Metal slime can hit him for 2. Ooh,
He got it.
Oh, and he gets it! So things are evened up a little bit now, and if he can parlay this into finding coal with all this equipment, that could, or all this gold in hand, that could help even more. Although, yeah, so he does have heal more. He chooses to heal up to 56.
Now,
if he goes the right direction, Cole is just off to his west here.
Oh, no!
He doesn't go that way. Oh, my goodness. But he's off the ground, doesn't necessarily need that gold anymore right away. He has the hurt more spell, so at least we have a race.
Yes. Oh, he's going back to save, it looks like. He's going to go get some more MP, I bet. He's going to go get another herb.
I love this play.
I do too.
Yeah, and he could have, before saving, he could have stopped off at the MP Restore Old Man. I'm surprised he didn't do that because he has the heal spell. So he could have refreshed his MP before saving here. I think maybe he forgot to do that. Now I'll be curious once he leaves the castle. He might pop back in to do that before venturing out, because he's going to want to have some heal spells at his disposal here.
I think he's going to go pick up another herb.
Another herb, maybe some more gold. JJ just scrambling. You can just imagine what's going through their minds when they get the early metal slime, and it's like, oh my god, here we go.
Yeah, that's so this isn't really a slow seed at this point in time. We'll see what happens as the seed progresses. I mean, BTs has already got sent back to start once by the Fun Police, so they are out there.
Z-Man, I feel like we suggested several ways that they could overcome the Strength 5, but we didn't mention the early metal slime. That is one that, yeah, and they both got it, so that's interesting.
I mean, how often do you see getting a metal slime before you get, 20 strength, which is the trigger for metal slimes to run? You very rarely see it.
Yeah, and they both got it in the first 6 or 7 minutes of the game. I think BT's had about a 4 or 5 minute head start on that, but that is not a sure thing of a lead like it looked like it may have been when he first got it. And JJ is using that hurt more to his advantage, and now he's got level 7.
Ooh, Drooling Lords with Dragon Lord 2 Breath. And Sleep, I think.
Ugh, that's kind of ugly, because that's one of the enemies that you like to see when you have hurt more. Yeah. Same with this Wyvern, same with the Knights that they were running into. There's a lot of nice enemies now that they have the hurt more spell, and he is very close to finding coal. It's right down here in this swamp, I believe. He's out of MP. I think he may still have that herb, and there it is. If he can get there with all this gold. I don't remember what was in that shop, but that could be a nice advantage if he can get there. Let's see if he can make it.
He's got the Erdrick's armor coming to him, and I think a large shield and a hand axe, I think, are the next two things.
This is huge. JJ comes back from the brink to basically even this match up now. They both have the same defensive equipment, and let's see what he can afford in the shop with all this money.
Oh, nope, just a hand axe.
Nothing to buy but the hand axe. I did not catch what was in the shop when BTs had looked at it. So he's still got all this silver shield money kicking around in his bag, but he may not care about that money anymore at this point. He is off the ground.
And BTs looks like he's going to get wrecked by another red dragon. So JJ looks like he's heading around to the side shop here in Cole, probably going to pick up some more herbs and some torches and probably a dragon scale.
Yeah, and this is the one of the... Oh, and he got trolled by this NPC, and you pretty much have to exit at this point. He's not going to come out of there. But there's also some wings for sale here, which if they don't have the return spell, it's nice to pick up 2 or 3 sets of wings when you have all this money.
They do have the return
And instead of going all the way back through there, he's just going to forget about it. He does have keys. There's a little shortcut if you want to spend a key to get back over there, but he's moving on. The items are not that important. They have the hurt more. They have, I think, was it heal more as well?
Hurt more and heal more. BTs just gets up to level 9.
So all that's left really is for them to get a little bit more hit points, and they'll basically be invincible. If they get up over that 72 threshold where you can be, well, no, they have the Erdrick's armor now, so the most the Dragon Lord 2 breath can do is 48. So yeah, they are in great shape to really not take any more deaths here.
BT's finding another town. Let's see what town we got here. JJ, it looks like he's doing a little bit of a grind here in this desert, which smart to me. There's some great mid-range enemies.
Yeah, I love this, especially if you have convinced yourself, and here's another metal slime, but they're going to run away now pretty often. But if you've convinced yourself that you can let go of this gold and you're not too concerned with dying any longer, remember, they still haven't gone into any of the dungeons. You can reset up those gold grinds at any moment. That's just the traditional way after you're done clearing out a dungeon. So you don't necessarily have to hold on to this gold so tightly any longer. He's taking a little bit of a side trip again, I think, to hold on to this gold. And eventually this just becomes a little bit of an error, because you have everything that you need right now to get moving in the seed.
Okay, so let's see, what are the 3 chests here in the back of Garenham? We have an herb, we have the silver harp, certainly one of the required items, and another key.
Ah, very good. So he has the harp now. And what is back here? It's dark, and there's no light source. Oh, he does have a torch, and it is the grave. And they do have keys, so potentially they could go to the lower levels after visiting these 3 chests here. But let's see what we get up here first.
Torch. Dragon Skull. Hey, look, BT's just bought one. And the wings.
So some fantastic items up here in the grave so far. Yeah, that's a little bit of a bummer, but no problem. Just move on to the bottom levels. He can survive almost anything at this point. It does only have 9 MP left, though, so it's going to be a little tricky to get down here in one go. I'm not sure if he used the inn in Garenham before coming back here, but at any rate, if he can get these last 2 chests, he'll have that information about what's down here, and he won't have to come back. Still looking for the Stones of Sunlight, which has to be in a chest, and the token can sometimes be in a chest, or it can sometimes be on a search spot. The only search spot we've seen so far was the town of Cole, which had the armor. So we still need Hawksness, and eventually, when they find the town of Cantlin, they can get some coordinates to lead them to the 3rd and final search spot. Because the token could still be out there. But right now, what was in that 4th chest? I missed it completely.
A torch.
Man, so this grave is absolute bupkis so far.
Yeah, so far out of the 7 chests eight chests we've seen so far, absolutely nothing. Nothing good
a bunch
whatsoever.
Of gold in the treasury along with an herb, and then now we have wings and torches and things like that. So all the good stuff is hiding. I guess the harp was found in the town of Garenham, but
yes.
Kind of a not so great level up, although there was a spell learned. It was probably one of the minor spells at this point.
And JJ is joining BT's in Garenham. Now, BT's never checked the armor shop here. Let's see what we have. We have
a
large shield and a flame sword.
Ooh, yeah, I forgot. For some reason, I kept thinking they had the Erdrick's sword, but it's the armor that they have. So Flame Sword is actually a really nice pickup for JJ. Now, they do have Hurtmore, both of them, but there are several enemies that are pretty resistant to Hurtmore, especially the later game enemies like the Demon Knight, the Wizard, among others. Blue Dragons have some resistance, so when you do have a really nice weapon, that just helps to supplement what you can do with that Hurtmore spell. So great pickup. So, JJ finally spends some of that money he's been carrying around.
Actually, he didn't. He noped out of the Flame Sword, did not purchase it. He's saving his money for the Silver Shield.
Oof. I do not like that play at all. I don't know. That is, I mean, he already has the hand axe, but the Flame Sword is significantly stronger. I don't know.
And I missed what was in the bottom of the grave.
Yeah, and the question now is whether or not. Ooh, okay. So BT's did make it to the bottom or no?
Yes, he did. He got the chest out of the bottom.
Alright, so now he can initiate the gold grind the traditional way here, and he's seen a couple of weapon and armor shops, but no, he has not bothered. I think he still has keys, right? Does he not have any keys?
I'm
Because
pretty sure he still. I thought he bought a whole bunch of 6.
Alright, well, no gold grind for BTs. Figuring already has the Erdrick's armor and the Hurt More spell. Guess he didn't want to take the time to do it. Interesting strategy here, and JJ's going through in the dark and has made it to the top 3 chests. He's going to get some oddball items. And I'll be interested to see if JJ wants to initiate a grind after going through here. Just, you know, because he doesn't have enough for both the Flame Sword and the Silver Shield, already opted out of the Flame Sword. I don't know.
I can't. Well, I mean, so maybe.
I mean, I'm shocked because he's close enough. Just the natural way, he could have bought the Flame Sword and still just been about 3,000 or 4,000 short of the Silver Shield, which he could just grind by just hurt-moring enemies along the way. You know, I don't know. I'm pretty surprised by that. But we have a red dragon just blocking the way, and he does get away with about a 1 in 3 chance of doing so. Only 56 agility so far for JJ, so fortunate to get away.
What JJ could also do here is take an intentional death warp, because there were blue dragons on the bottom floor which have hurt more, so they're a nice intentional death target, and just grind the extra of what will mine up being 3,000 gold to get back up to 14k.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Or just grind all the way up for Flame Sword and Silver Shield money. You know, you're gonna lose half of it on the Death Warp, but then just go ahead and do a grind and get the money that you want. Or you could go with the BT's route and just figure, well, I have hurt more, I don't need any equipment. Erdrick's armor is great because it allows you to heal walk while you're exploring. Saves you some MP for healing up between battles. And he's decided the hand axe is good enough. And somewhere along the way, he'll probably just look for a large shield. Maybe not wanting to bother hunting down a Silver Shield. I don't think we've seen one yet.
No, we haven't. We've only seen a couple of times.
Yeah, so already kind of a few different strategies by our players. The very first couple of minutes was quite different in the way they approached it. And then some of these decisions regarding the gold grinding and whether or not you want to hang on to all this gold. JJ is going to make his way down to the 5th and final chest with only 1 MP at his disposal now. So he's got to be careful if he runs into some of those blue dragons and other strong enemies. It's only at level 8 with 56 agility, so it's not like, you know, he's going to be guaranteed to run away from everything here. I think he may have a few herbs as well if he wants to use them. Really wants to get here in one attempt and not have to potentially come back here for this last chest.
Right, yeah, because that is a terrible feeling to know you have one chest in the bottom of the grave that you didn't get on your first pass, and it's always in the back of your head. Is it important? Is it important? In this case, no.
Yeah, so it was just another herb, and you could see he ran away from that Demon Knight, where if he had the Flame Sword, he probably would have gone ahead and fought it. But yep, now it looks like he is taking the Death Warp, probably just because they don't yet have the outside spell. At least I don't think that they do, and he doesn't have the magic to be able to cast it, even if they do. So this is kind of his fastest way out, anyways. And now we'll get to see if he finds something that can kill him. We'll get to see if he does want to initiate another gold grind the traditional way now.
And in the process, gets another level.
Yeah, while JJ has been running around doing this, there's now about a 1,000 experience point lead for BTs. He has been going fast and furious after these, you know, not quite end game enemies, but kind of the next tier of enemies, the Magic Wyvern, the Knight, all these enemies he's been finding and killing rapidly with the Hurtmore spell. So a nice lead brewing for BTs. He got that early Metal Slime probably 3 or 4 minutes earlier than JJ and has since expanded on that lead.
Yep, JJ taking the intentional death here the slow way against the Rogue Scorpion.
Yeah, it looks like he's already defense breaking the Rogue Scorpion because of the equipment that he has, 71 defense power. So it's going to take a little while to die to this Rogue Scorpion, but it does have the baby breath and, you know, the ability to whittle him down, and there he goes.
And north of Tantagel, we have Hawksness.
All right, so this will be our second search spot, potentially holding the token, and then we will know for sure whether or not we want to hunt down the coordinates.
Oh, baby. We have the dream.
Yes, oftentimes runners will actually stay here when they find a situation like this, and it is the token, by the way. So maybe Cantland not even required now, and no need to hunt down the princess or, you know, search the overworld for anything laying there. The best that could be there now is the flute, which is not a required item. And BTs is doing what we have seen often in some of our races, just staying on the Axe Knight, potentially for several more levels here. And this experience lead is about to grow.
Yeah, this is going to be... I mean, you could see BT's basically going, if he wanted to, all the way up to Dragon Lord 2 capability, if he wanted to. Oh, look at that power in level 12.
Yeah, deciding just to get the one level there on the Axe Knight. I guess he feels like there's still plenty of more things for him to find out there. So he didn't want to take any more time to do an Axe Knight grind mid-game, which that's the other way to go, is get your exploration out of the way early and then come back and do your grind at the end. So either way, he's finding Axe Knights out in the overworld as well. So just the right mix of enemies for BTs to extend this lead.
So JJ is taking the opportunity here to grind up some gold and to get 6 herbs.
Yeah, so 25,000 is enough for the Flame Sword and the Silver Shield. So if he wants to retrace his steps and go back to that town, he knows exactly where the Flame Sword is. But he may end up just going in another direction, just hoping to find other towns that he needs. And potentially the Silver Shield will be there. And here's one. I don't think he's seen this town before, has he?
No, this is Garenham.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Garenham. Okay, good. So he went directly back for the Flame Sword. Yeah, and see, so for example, like what we were going back to before, the fact that he passed on this before, see, he could have saved himself a trip to come all the way back here for that sword. If he had bought it the first time around, he still would have been able to do that gold grind coming out of the grave, and he could have gotten as much as he needed for the Silver Shield at that time and saved himself this walk back to Garenham. He's already explored this part of the world, so that's just kind of an extra trip that maybe wasn't necessary, but he's got it now, and it gives him the ability to defeat some enemies that BTs will not be able to for a little while. So he's got to see if he can take advantage of that.
Meanwhile, BT's finding Rimmildar, which is kind of south and west of Hawksness.
And look at this.
Sorry
about that, but there was a broadsword there, and BTs does have enough for the broadsword, and he just deliberately chose not to buy it. So I don't know. Maybe he wants to make sure he has enough in case he finds a large shield somewhere. But I find that interesting. The fact that they have the Hurt More spell, he just doesn't seem to care about getting a weapon upgrade beyond the hand axe.
And the Fun Police send JJ Schmidt back to start. So, one thing to notice here that's actually in JJ Schmidt's kind of advantage is this is an extraordinarily linear type map. There aren't too many branch points yet that we've seen. You know, because anything south and west of Tantagel is a dead end. So you have to go north, and you have to go past Hawksness before you can make your way around to Rimmildar. So, yeah, this is... JJ could catch up relatively quickly here. Maybe.
Yeah, it all depends on which directions they happen to explore and if he can find the next important thing before BTs. I'm trying to think of what that might be, actually, because... and he just nopes out of Hawksness. I'm surprised about that, unless he's really low on resources, because he still does need to find that token, so that's one of the places it could be. Interesting.
I think he's beelining for towns. He wants that Silver Shield, I think.
Yeah, didn't want to run the risk of running into maybe a red dragon on this search spot and being unable to run and unable to defeat it. and losing half of that gold again. We have the other major dungeon, though, for JJ, and I don't know that beeteas has found this yet.
No, so I was a little incorrect. This is actually west of Hawksness. So BT's has gone east of Hawksness. This is west where JJ is. So there is a rather major divergence here going on right now.
Yeah, and so this mountain cave, this is one of the most likely places for the Stones of Sunlight, which is the other item that BT's does not yet have. So if JJ finds it here, and BT's is busy exploring the other half of the world, that will help JJ catch up at least a little bit here.
So if the stones are here, I'm pretty sure that has to be in the tablet cave, because I think we've seen every other treasure chest. Never mind.
There we go. And now that JJ, well, they're both still looking for the sword, but JJ's also, in theory, still looking for the token because he did not bother with the spike tile fight in Hawksness. So it's interesting that he's carrying around the gold through a dungeon, but he chose not to fight in Hawksness. I guess figuring if something goes wrong here, he in most cases will have the gold grind reinitiated again. Now he just needs one more chest to make that happen. And so as soon as he opens another one, even if he dies in here, he can just grind back up for silver shield money.
And speaking of silver shield money, right next to the swamp cave is Breckenary, which has the silver shield.
All right, and that's the first one we've seen. So Brackenary does have some purpose in this seed if they want to go after it. Getting the silver shield not necessarily required, but it does give you several advantages. The extra 10 defense power will enable you to defense break some of the later game enemies faster, including trying to run through Sharlock, potentially fighting your way down through Sharlock instead of having to run from everything, as well as just taking less damage overall. And it can be a very helpful and sometimes a critical item to have, and other times it's just not necessary. So BT seems to be not bothering with any more upgrades. He might just go for the large shield and never get the silver shield, while JJ seems to want to get the best equipment possible.
So a little update here. She found the second continent, which was useless other than Breckenary, which is only useful for its silver shield. And JJ Schmidt did find a cursed belt in one of the chests, so that now implies that the fairy flute is going to be in one of the chests.
Right. In theory, the fairy flute actually could be in Sharlock because it's not required to enter Sharlock.
Right.
So there's plenty of chests down there that it could be in. But yeah, you're right. With the cursed belt found, there will be no coordinates given by the old man. It'll just be empty.
And also we found the fighter's ring in here in the mountain cave, so that's a nice little 2 strength boost there, or I'm sorry, 2 attack power boost.
Yeah, occasionally on a borderline level, that actually can be pretty important when you're doing your Dragon Lord math. So that's tucked away pretty remotely. For example, that's a spot that BTs may not end up searching if somehow he finds the sword or something, and then he takes that Stones of Sunlight is his last quest item that he needs to find, and that's on the top floor. So there are scenarios where BTs could miss out on the fighter's ring, but I think without finding the sword, they're likely to just clear as many chests as they can. They don't want to run the risk of diving into Sharlock for the sword, and it happens to be in one of the chests that you skipped.
Right. But, knowing what we know between the two of them, the only chests we haven't seen are either in Sharlock or in the tablet cave. We've seen all of the other chests.
Yeah, you're right. I remember them looking. They had the Stones of Sunlight cave. Did they find the town of Rimmeldar and go into that chest?
BTs did, and it was a zonk.
Okay. And we catch a glimpse of Sharlock on BT's screen as well. So the only other thing, let's see. I feel like they saw the Rainbow Drop cave, but not necessarily the Staff of Rain cave yet. So maybe
they have
BT's
not.
is looking for that.
Meanwhile, JJ finds Catelyn and does pick up his silver shield at long last.
Yeah, and because, again, he noped out of the Hawksness fight, he's going to go ahead and look for these coordinates. He's not going to have the knowledge that there are no coordinates. Even though he got that cursed belt, you also have to know, yeah, he'll still look for these coordinates, I believe. So he's going to make this walk and get the news
Why
that there are
is-
no coordinates.
Why is JJ looking in shops?
Oh no!
What?
What did he just buy?
The flame sword. What? He didn't buy the flame sword previous?
I'm so confused right now. I'm gonna have to
So
rewatch
am
this VOD. I could have sworn he bought the flame sword 3 different times by now.
Lord of the Sin saying he wiped to a red dragon after getting the flame sword.
I am so confused, but he has it now. So he's got the flame sword, the Erdrick's armor, and the silver shield. So he is done buying stuff except for herbs and keys and any other oddities he might want to pick up. But he's good to go. He needs to hurry up and cover some of this map. I feel like he needs to get back over to Hawk's Nest. He's got the heal more and the hurt more spells, and no longer needs to worry about losing his gold. So get back over there and grab that token. Otherwise, it's going to be tough to make up this lead here. First, he's going to check the coordinates, but we know that there's not going to be any coordinates. So this should give him the information. Oh, what? What am I missing right now?
How is... What?
I'm going to have to think about this. So Cole had the armor.
Right.
The token was in Hawk's Nest. I'm fairly confident I saw BTs pick that up in Hawk's Nest. And
Yes.
we did see a cursed belt.
Right.
Alright, maybe I have something wrong there, but... Okay,
So-
well he's going to count this out and probably find the flute.
Maybe a cursed belt got randomized into the chest pool somehow?
I don't know, but this is a pretty easy count. He won't lose much time doing this. It's wait a minute. Is it on the other side of this strange water gate here that he can't walk over?
No, but he can count.
But like, if this doesn't go... Okay, it goes around right here. Yeah,
Right.
I was going to say, if that didn't go through, he would have to like remember where that is and go through the swamp cave, but...
Now, right here, he's over by Garanham. Garanham is just to his southwest.
Alright, so he's very close. He's going to recount from here. Okay, well, meanwhile, while he's doing all this, BTs has extended to a huge lead now. Almost a 3,000 point lead, and we have the Staff of Rain Cave. So things are heating up for BTs. He has an advantage in just about every category, except for equipment, in theory, but the equipment doesn't seem to matter much. He is gaining experience without it.
And JJ is searching all over the place for what he thinks is...
Yeah, and this could be even more unfortunate if he doesn't find
There
it.
it is. Okay, so there is the flute. Alright, so... BT's now needs to over toward the east or the western side of Hawk's Nest to get into the mountain cave to find his stones. JJ needs to get his butt back to Hawk's Nest and kill the Axe Knight behind Hawk's Nest.
Yeah, I feel like JJ has fallen into the trap of the level 1 grind where he just has spent a lot of time and energy just hanging on to that gold, including the decision to nope out of Hawk's Nest when most of the Guardians there would have been beatable. So now, again, he's going to have to retrace his steps and make a second trip back to Hawk's Nest for that token. And meanwhile, he's not continuing to explore because he's retracing his steps. I'm trying to figure out what else BT's is missing now. He's
Mountain cave.
still looking for the stones, yeah, so he has not been into the mountain cave, which is west of Hawk's Nest, correct? So And I
Correct.
feel like there's Hawksness there for BTs. If he continues from here, he will find the mountain cave.
Yeah, but if you've noticed, BT's has gone out to a 3,000 experience lead.
Yeah, I was just saying that, and that is very significant. Without even having as good equipment as JJ, he has just used that Hurt More spell really efficiently. So, yeah, a very nice lead here. That's going to be hard to overcome. He would have to, yeah, and here's the mountain cave right here, is not?
I believe it is.
Yeah, I was going to say he would have to be hunting around for the mountain cave for like a long time for JJ to be able to catch up. Oh no, this is Tablet Cave, excuse me.
Oh, I didn't see JJ find this. He must have just missed it.
Yeah, so this is the only chest left, right? And it could still have Erdrick's sword. So you got to go check it.
Yep, this is definitely the only chest left in the non-Sherlock division.
All right, so we've confirmed sword and Sherlock, everyone. Place your bets.
Sword
Make your
and
guesses.
the sword and the death necklace.
Yeah, and so far, well, BT's has gained some hit points at level 14, but still a bit away from Death Necklace territory, but that could change on any level up. But if BT's has full cleared everything, then, you know, he will have the knowledge. Like, you know, if he finds the sword first, he could continue on searching for the Death Necklace, knowing that it pretty much has to be there. So that's one of the advantages of full clearing all the chests.
JJ getting to level 12 and getting that nice strength boost.
And here's an opportunity for JJ, by the way. He might actually stay here on this Axe Knight, and we saw BT's did not stay here very long. And this is one of the only ways where he could really put a dent in this experience gap. If he decides to just stay here for like 3 more levels, he should close this gap in the process. Now, he still has some work to do with exploration, but it may be something that you know, that BT's didn't do that he can do. That might be a way for him to try and close this lead a little bit.
Right, and I do believe that the Silver Harp Cave, the Staff of Ring Cave, I believe that is in the vicinity, the general vicinity of Sherlock. So once JJ finds Sherlock, he'll find the Staff Cave in relatively quick order.
Right, and he already knows where the Rainbow Drop Cave is, so that's kind of the last thing that he'll need. And at that point, it makes some sense to just kind of continue on this Axe Knight pretty much all the way until, I don't know if they have, I didn't notice if they have Repel yet or not.
They do.
Okay, but even so, you may want a few more levels, and then you can just rappel your way around just to find that last cave. That's one of the strategies some people use. He's getting low on resources, so he's walking away. Be interested to see if he comes back here or if he wants to just finish out his exploration before coming back for the end game. And I think BT's is hunting all around just for a large shield, which we did see one in one of the other earlier towns, but I don't recall seeing one necessarily in this town. Yeah,
I don't remember seeing one at all.
I think there was one in Garenham or one of those towns, maybe Cole. But he is specifically looking for that. He doesn't even necessarily care about the weapon upgrade. He has passed on the broadsword a couple of different times, but I think he does want that large shield. As you can see, he's on level 14 with only 69 defense power, so that's becoming a concern. He wants that large shield.
He actually did just pick up the broadsword, because he does have enough for the broadsword and the large shield, so he's like, screw it, I'm here, I'm going to pick up the broadsword.
Alright, and he has entered the mountain cave. And so we know the stones are right here on this top level chest. And, well, he does still need the sword, so I would expect him to continue down to the lower levels if he makes it past this red dragon.
Well, he's got decent attack power now, and he's got heal more, and I don't think the red dragons have anything too terrible. So
yeah, the main thing that could kill you here is if it had sleep, but if it doesn't have sleep, you should be able to survive these battles now. Burning a lot of MP in the process, but yeah, let's see. The bottom levels just had the Fleeter's Ring, which is helpful, but Yeah, at the very least, he's got to make it over to this first chest for the stones. And so besides the staff cave, what exactly is JJ looking for now? Because he's full cleared both dungeons. He's got all the items necessary for the drop, except for the staff. So I guess, and if this is the tablet cave, I suppose he'll look for the sword as well in the tablet cave. Is this the last remaining chest for JJ to find?
Yep. So what else is he looking for other than the tablet cave here? He has not found Sherlock, and he hasn't found the staff cave.
Yeah, so that's it for JJ. And it's been so long since they went. Yeah, they definitely went through to the back of Garenham. They already had keys from the beginning. So yeah, there's no more chests. I don't recall JJ necessarily going into Rimmeldar. We saw beeteas do that. But
That's a good point. I forgot Rimbledore for JJ. He has not. You're right.
Yeah, and that's just to have like a peace of mind for, looking for the sword. So he's going to want to open all the chests that he can just to make sure he knows where the sword is. And so the only chest left, but once he gets this one in the tablet cave, the only one left for him, I guess, is the one in the town of Rimmeldar, if he hasn't gotten it already.
Everybody say hi to the fun police.
Got a nice front row seat for this battle, and we see red on the screen. And now it's white. So he has successfully healed himself from the danger zone and killed the red dragon for another 255 while he's on his way to the remaining chests in the mountain cave. So once BTs has this task out of the way, he is really going to be in good shape. He's got a huge experience lead, and he has traded in for the staff already. And so all he needs now, he knows where the drop cave is, he knows where Sherlock is, and he will have full cleared all the chests, so he'll know that the sword is in Sherlock. So it's either head back over to Hawksness and kill more Axe Knights, or we might see a potential sword dive from BTs, now that he has access to Sherlock.
And let's hear a round of applause for our wonderful restreamer, Lord of the Synth, and you get to see some behind the scenes work right here, right now.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that is a tough job, and these guys don't get the credit. A lot of things can go wrong with the restream, and when it does, it's pretty stressful. So yeah, thanks for the restream as always. Anytime we can get these races broadcasts for everyone, it's always better than missing out. So what is BT's going to do? Is he going into Sherlock? Is he going back to Hawksness?
Given his agility, given that the agility is only 71, I would do another, level or two at Hawksness and see if I can't get that agility up to make the Sherlock dive even easier.
Yeah, and he's still sitting on that small shield, and I feel like at this point, he probably is not going to run around and check towns that he's already been at just to try and find a large shield. So I think he's in grind and go mode now. It's just a matter of where and how he wants to do it. And JJ does find the staff cave, so he is in grind and go mode now as well.
Yep, I would imagine he'll probably return to the castle quick. Yep, he's going to return to the castle, he's going to get that rainbow drop, and he's probably going to start his grind.
Yeah, now JJ already has the flame sword. Now, if they do grind the Axe Knight, you don't even really need a weapon necessarily. But yeah, just maybe less of a chance that he'll go ahead and do an early sword dive. I would not necessarily expect BTs to do that either. He's aware that the Axe Knight is in Hawksness as well. And it looks like he is en route to the spike tile.
So BT's definitely has a distinct experience advantage here, and one that will be tough to overcome on JJ's side.
Yeah, it's not going to be. You can't really overcome it unless something goes wrong for BTs at this point. It's when you're talking about Axe Knight grinds, you can count on about 500 experience points per minute in many cases. So It's really only like a 6 or 7 minute lead if JJ makes his way over there immediately. And that is about how long it takes to die up Charlock. So if for some reason beeteas has like a failed fight against the Dragon Lord or something like that, that is just enough maybe for JJ to be able to sneak in there and take the lead. But it would require something like that happening. We do have a relatively low agility seed, although now BTs is in the low 70s for agility, so it's not that terrible to have to run away from things in Charlock. But a lot of things can go wrong on the dive for different reasons. So that's pretty much what would have to happen.
So right now, it's kind of looking like the limiting stat that they have is going to be their magic power, because their HP is already Dragon Lordable, so is the strength. But it is the MP right now that is definitely low. It is too low to make any sort of attempt at the Dragon Lord at this point.
Yeah, that is really low. I'm surprised it's even in the orange, but I guess there are some scenarios where that would be enough magic, but that's really low. And BTs has crossed into the triple digits for hit points, so he's all set with that. So you're right, it's really just having enough magic or just getting a ton of attack power to make up for the lack of magic. The agility right now is no longer a serious concern. The lack of a decent shield is going to make it so that he's not going to be breaking any enemies on the way down through Charlock, so he'll be getting hit a little bit harder. But yeah, the main thing is that you're going to need some of that, like you said, some of that magic or a ton of attack power. So it seems like we're a couple of levels away at least, but you never know. We'll see when he gets on the next level.
I mean, if the next level gives you 25 MP, then okay, well now you start to consider it, depending on what everything else is.
Yep, and under 120 for attack power is really never enough. But you can get double-digit strength gains on any level up as well. They're not really that close to being able to use the Death Necklace either. So yeah, it seems like they're a couple of levels away. So is BT's going to go back to Hawksness, or is he going to fight his way down? I think this is not the right situation for him to fight his way down, since he doesn't have a decent shield.
Right. To answer Jay Coper's question in chat, any sight of a large shield? Yes, there is one large shield in the game. Yeah, we can't remember where it is. It might have been Garenham, maybe?
It was one of those early towns.
Yeah,
either
it was one of the early towns.
Cole or Garenham had one.
Yeah.
I think JJ actually had one for a while. And then he eventually upgraded to silver, so. And JJ is on the Axe Knight grind for a little while here. And he is going to be running out of resources momentarily while BT's is relatively full. And maintaining about a 3,300 point lead. So in terms of Axe Knights, again, that's about a 7-minute advantage, not including the fact that you do have to get back to an inn somewhere.
So, any snail, why would you want to use the Death Necklace? The Death Necklace gives you 10 extra attack power. Now, it does cost 25% of your life. So, if you're at 130 HP or higher, and your attack power is still pretty low, that Death Necklace can often give you that boost in attack power you need to effectively kill the Dragon Lord.
Yeah, so if for some reason we have a level up where you just get like 48 hit points, like we have seen a couple of times in this tournament, all of a sudden now you can use that Death Necklace to boost up that attack power and maybe go a level or two earlier than you otherwise would have been able to if the Death Necklace didn't have that functionality. But for now, they don't really have enough hit points to consider it, and they don't necessarily need to put it on early for this particular grind. This is a grind that requires magic usage for the most part, not really physical strength. So BT's took a kind of an early death from the Axe Knight there. He still had 27 MP. So every time that happens, it's a little bit of an inefficiency in your grind. But it's not enough of an issue for him to, be in danger of losing this lead or anything.
No, certainly not losing the lead outright. I mean, it's still, 3,000 experience, 3,300, like you said. So yeah, he's not going to lose the lead from an untimely death or two. At least not at this point.
This is kind of a hike for a JJ to find an inn from from Hawksness.
Yeah, I think.
He wants to get some. Do they not have repel? He's looking for some fairy water now, but.
Well, they do have repel, but I'm pretty sure he wants to save the MP.
And this is okay. Here we are. He's going to use one and buy another one. So yeah, sometimes if you're kind of a ways away from Charlock, you can use the fairy water to get to Charlock without using the repel spell. You know, you want to conserve that MP sometimes. It's nice to have one for the end game.
Yeah, but going back to the hike you said from Canton to Hawksnest, I actually think it's quicker to die and get back to Hawksnest from Tantagel.
Yeah, and that's basically what beeteas has been doing. So just take the Death Warp. Sometimes you can squeeze out 1 or 2 extra battles too. So you're down to 0 MP, but you can still like manage to kill 1 more Axe Knight, and then you just take the Death Warp. So in some ways, that's actually a better situation. This is a really long walk to this inn. And it's almost like I kind of wonder what's on the Swamp Cave spike tile, because this is quite inefficient to be walking all this way. Although he has managed to use the fairy waters, and he's walking right by Hawksness as JJ now. So what is going on here?
Well, he still needs to find Charlock. Oh, forget I said that.
It feels like he's going to go in. Like he's going to go for like a sword dive here and hope that this is like a more efficient grind than walking all the way back and forth to the inn from Hawksness.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is definitely a sword dive.
Yeah, you can't really count on the next level being enough to win if you're JJ, I don't think. So, yeah, I mean, he's going to see what's in here, maybe if there's really good grindable enemies in here, and you get the sword at the same time, but yeah, I don't know. He basically walked right by his Hawksness grind to do this, so yeah, interesting decision there. While beeteas continues with the Hawksness grind, he's going to make a big walk all the way to an inn. And he's going to get slept by a stone man en route, so. Oh, and BT still has some resources, so what's he up to now? He just reached level 16. Is he thinking that that's go time? Because that looks like it's a little lacking to me.
How much was that MP gain?
Yeah, it looks like a pretty silly MP game, but they didn't get like really any attack power, though. You know, remember, he's actually still on the broadsword, so we have to remember he's going to get 20 more attack power from when he gets the Erdrick sword. So maybe because of that MP gain, maybe this is go time. I guess it is now that I look at it.
I mean,
got a ton of magic on that level up. Oh my goodness.
That wasn't just a silly MP game. That was a stupid MP game. It had to have been up in the 40s.
It's just, you never know when that level is going to be. Like I was just saying, like, well, it's probably going to be level 17 or 18 unless we get one of those really ridiculous gains, you know? And there it is. I mean, you never know when that one's going to come. So, yeah, huge MP gain provides BTs with about 5 additional heal mores, and it makes the difference here, because when he gets that Erdrick sword, which he knows has to be in Charlock, he's opened all of the chests that are available, and he hasn't found the sword yet. So he's planning on going in, running from enemies, grab the sword on the way, and go for game.
I think that would make sense. I mean, he's got 15 heal mores right now. I mean, that's...
Yeah, when you add 20...
kind of stupid good.
When you add 20 to this attack power, all of a sudden you're looking at 135, which pretty often is enough. And when you have 15 heal mores to go with that, it is more than enough, actually, by quite a bit. So, yeah, it's hard to even imagine what could go wrong for BTs here. He's got actually several heal mores to spare, which it's funny because 15 wasn't even close. So we had one of those, we call that like the magic level, where it's just so clear that this is go time.
No pun intended, I hope.
Yeah, magic level. He got the magic on the magic level. Good one. Alright, so he's into the dark levels. He does have a torch. He's going to make his way through, and he does have still kind of on the low end of normal agility. I wouldn't say this is like a really low agility situation, but it's enough where he's getting blocked by these green dragons. He's not breaking any of these enemies, so he'll get hit for 20 or 25 damage every time he gets blocked by a green dragon. But He's heal walking in between. He's got plenty to spare. He's got herbs. So he would have to run into just a horrific situation in Sharlock to have any situation.
So Chad actually bringing up a really good point right now with BT's defense power of 70. He's going to be in much more danger of having the Dragon Lord attack than if the Dragon Lord were to use Fire Breath, because I'm pretty sure with the DP of 70, you're looking at a max Dragon Lord melee attack in the mid-50s.
Yeah, I think it might actually only be 52. But when you're looking at only having 104 hit points, pretty often you could get down into those, high 40s, low 50s situations where you're gonna have to make a decision. If he had more hit points, it would be less of a problem. But yeah, 104 hit points and the potential to be hit for 52.
So let's say he's in the red and gets a low roll heal more.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he's definitely in danger of having to heal more on back-to-back turns,
right.
Possibly even back-to-back-to-back, depending on the way the RNG goes. So this is still not a free fight for BTs by any stretch of the imagination.
It looks like he's actually fighting some of these enemies just because he can't run away from enemies like the Green Dragon. So it's just like, well, all right, I'll just swing 3 times and kill it then. Maybe even get an insurance level on the way, but...
JJ gets unfortunately rolled on his way down Sharlock, so he never actually got to the treasury.
Yeah, I feel like just a series of things have gone wrong for JJ in this run, unfortunately. He's had such a great tournament. And yeah, that's just another situation. It seems like he really should be concentrating on the Hawk's Nest grind, but he took a detour and went for a sword dive. Now here we go with BTs. Where is the sword, guys?
Well, found the death necklace.
Yeah, don't need that. Just need the big stick. And it could be upstairs. We're running out of chests. It's 50-50 now.
50-50, and...
Thou hast found the fairy water.
It's vanilla, ladies and gentlemen. It is vanilla. Tristal, I see you said vanilla there. You are the winner. You get to carry around that pride with you all night.
Yeah, and BTs, I think, may not even have any torches, so he's going to have to burn some magic when he may end up casting Radiant. I think he's casting Stop Spell now on these Armored Knights, having a little trouble here. And running with 32 hit points. Oh my goodness. Well, now he's burning Heal Mores. He has Heal Mores to spend. At some point, you'd think he'd get away from this guy, and he does. Trying to think if it was possible for him to be hit for 32 by a physical from an Armored Knight with only 70 defense power. I kind of feel like he could have died there.
So JJ gets to level 15 and Nope's out of here, and looks like he's going back to Sharlock?
Yeah, so JJ on 15, I wonder if, because remember, JJ does have the Silver Shield, so he's got 86 defense power, which is enough to defense break a Wizard, a Werewolf, and a Star Wyvern. So he may be banking on fighting his way down for a level now. And he can't even get away from a Golem here, so wow. We're seeing a lot of deaths in the late game.
Yeah, if you're going to run from a Golem, I mean, why not? I know it takes time, but use the Fairy Flute, run from the Golem, and get the guaranteed run. Yeah, it takes a little more time, but at least you're not going to have that happen.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how much of an issue that was as far as where he is on the map, if it's a longer walk from Tantegel or not, but it looks like, I think you're right, it looks like he may be heading back into Sharlock now that he's hit level 15. I think he's making his way in that direction, while BT's is going upstairs still. He's still making his way up.
Yeah, he's still making his way up. He has gotten a non-stop parade of Armored Knights on those bottom 2 floors there.
Yeah, so remember like those crazy scenarios that would have to happen for BTs to have an issue in Sharlock? Well, Sword and Vanilla is one of them, and all of a sudden he's down like 3 heal mores from that 120 that he came in here with. He's down to 100, so he has 3 less heal mores than he had when he started this dive. So now we're starting to get dicey.
Yeah, and that low defense power is That low defense power comes into play with every single heal more that beeteas has to use.
Lo and behold, he has found the Erdrick Sword, and he's just going to have to take a U-turn and walk all the way back down all these hallways, littered with armored knights and other enemies that seem to not want him to run away. He's fighting his way through green dragons because he's so sick of getting blocked by them. And he's fighting his way through axe knights as well. I think he's just decided 72 agility is just not enough to be able to run away from anything. And yeah, I mean, if he has to burn another couple of heal mores, it's going to be a problem.
Now he's at 100 right now, so he's down to, what is that, 10, 11, 12? 12 heal mores.
12 heal mores, and you would like to have at least about 11 for the Dragon Lord fight with 135 attack power. So there's not a lot to spare here. He can't really count on any double attacks. He's only got 104 hit points. So we really need to use these herbs, and we really need to not run into all these armored knights. This is becoming a problem for BTs.
Yeah, and you said that you want like 11 heal mores, but that's assuming that the max damage you're going to take is 48. Given that the max damage BTs is going to take is around 52, 53.
Yep. And by the way, it assumes you don't get back attacked. It assumes you don't, have a problem on Dragon Lord 1. So it's there are things that can go wrong here. This is no longer a sure thing. He still, I think, is a favorite, but he's got to make his way through this dive here. And now he's in the bottom zone, which it also has armored knights. So each of the 3 zones has a different mix of enemies. But unfortunately, this guy's making an appearance in multiple zones, and he cannot get away. And running at the low to mid 30s for hit points, I feel like you're in danger of dying when you only have 70 defense power, but he does manage to fight his way through. He's getting low on herbs too, I believe. He's just used another herb. And now a red dragon. And here comes another heal more.
It's actually a good thing that the armored knights have hurt more, because the hurt mores actually need to do less damage than their attack.
And meanwhile, JJ is halfway to level 16. He's not going to win on this dive. He's almost out of magic. But if he can get the level while he's down here, then, next time JJ gets out of here, it's go time. So if BTs somehow fails here, it all of a sudden becomes very close. Now, JJ still has to go all the way back upstairs for the sword. So there's still a couple of minutes advantage just from that. But, this is problematic. Down to 84 magic points now. I feel like BTs may no longer be a favorite to win on this dive now. This is incredible, just what happened just from the sheer fact that the sword was in the vanilla chest. When he was searching that treasury, he had all of his magic.
Yep. I mean, I can't imagine him winning this fight.
Yeah, I think it's possible. You'd have to have some good rolls, and you'd have to get through Dragon Lord 1. You'd have to not get back attacked. You have to not have a problem with the mini boss, which you don't even know what that is yet. I think it's enough so that it's enough of a chance that he should continue now that he's on the bottom floor, but it's close. Like, at some point, you got to consider just casting outside and trying again, because Dragon Lord 2 fight takes a while. And so if you're going to go through all that and still lose, that's like several more minutes. That's something like you could save yourself all that by just casting outside or just refusing to heal up and just taking a death in one of these fights or whatever. But yeah.
So BT is going to get level 17 here on the mini boss, regardless of what the mini boss is. So if the strength gain here is pretty significant, then BT certainly has a chance.
Great point, actually. I did not realize he was that close, so great point. And it is an Axe Knight. So even if he wasn't that close, he could grind this Axe Knight. And what's he going to get?
Let's see. 13. That's sick.
That is helpful. I would say he is now a favorite to win. Nice job by BT's getting the insurance level on the way.
Significant. Alright, so let's see. Is this going to do it for him?
What a fool. He has chosen to fight. And and not even necessarily going to bother healing his way through this battle. He has several heal mores to spare all of a sudden. With 148 attack power, you really only need somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 or 8 heal mores to get through this battle. Assuming you got first strike and 2 attacks to start. But he's got 10 heal mores. It's a huge favorite. Here we go.
Some low rolls to start.
Meanwhile, let's see. I think JJ is... What has happened to JJ? He's almost completely out of resources. I thought he was making his way back upstairs, but no, he's making his way down to the bottom. And beeteas is fighting and healing and fighting and healing and fighting and healing.
And JJ gets wrecked again right before the bottom floor. Man, this is not JJ's night.
Yeah, and he didn't get the big level either, so he doesn't have the knowledge that he could just be going for game. He can't go for game until he gets the MP boost from that level. So, yeah, that's pretty rough. So we're down to 4 heal mores from beeteas, but he's probably almost got him at this point. A couple of more attacks. He's rolling in the 20s for damage, so it doesn't take too many of those to chop him down.
Yeah, and the Dragon Lord is breathing more fire than he's attacking, so that really helps beeteas there. Oh, and there it is.
Down he goes. GG beeteas. Uses the wings to go back to Tanteagle. The swag wings. And talk to the king.
And ladies and gentlemen in chat, get out your GGs. Bresticle has won this race with an official SRO time of 1 hour, 8 minutes, and 31 seconds.
And that is a fast time. That is for a seed that looked like it might be slow when we first started with the 5 strength. That is a nice, good, solid, fast time for BTs. Hour and 8 minutes.
And with that thing, I do believe we have BTs joining us in Discord. BTs, great run, man. Well done.
Hey, thank you so much.
Very good. Yeah, we had, let's see, a bunch of things to talk about. I guess the biggest thing is that what got you started was an early metal slime kill. How nice was that?
That was super nice. I couldn't get an encounter smaller than a scorpion or a magidrake. Then I ran into a wolf, and that was the last straw. So I had to explore to try and buy weapons, and I found a metal slime instead.
Yeah, you had that chest from the starting. I forget if it was in the throne room or in the treasury. You're running around with 600 or 700 gold pieces, trying to find a town. There wasn't really a town nearby either. And,
yeah, so
lo and behold, metal slime for level 6, and all of a sudden you had hurt more. About two or 3 minutes into the game, and you never looked back. That was that lead just never went away. As it turns out, JJ actually did get a metal slime himself at about 7 or 8 minutes in. So, if it wasn't for that, it could have really been, even worse. But yeah, you had about a 4 or 5 minute head start on that, and proceeded through the rest of the seed. What else happened that was challenging for you? You did finish in an hour and 8 minutes, so it seemed like a breeze.
the only thing holding this back from a sub-hour seed is the MPs. So just getting around and then running out and death warping. Tantangle was at a nice place because it was in the center, so if you died, it wasn't the end of the world. You could just go into a new forked direction. But the metal slimes were cool. I got hooked up in Garen's Grave 2 for another level up, and the easy peasy Hawkstus grind just to get enough HP and attack to brave Sharlock. And then my Sharlock, I would, not to toot my own breasticles, but it was very expertly played, but I was trolled by the sword location.
Yeah, it was interesting that you started losing some heal mores, so it seemed like you kind of started going for that insurance level, and it paid off big time. Gave you enough attack power to overcome all those burned heal mores.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure what my agility was, so I knew that getting experience would be better than running, and then after I had burned a heal more or two, then I realized that the level was mandatory, and that level happened to have the strength required to just laugh in the Dragon Lord's face. because if Dragonlord 1 was hitting any harder, then I wouldn't have had an opening on Dragonlord 2 because I was out of herbs too.
Yeah, yep, I could see that. So that was a nice level up at the end. I think we have JJ here as well. How you doing, sir?
Hey, GGBTs.
GG, sir. Sorry, I was drinking a whole bunch because I've been sweating bullets that entire race. After that metal slime, I figured you were just gonna crush me.
Yeah, we had actually a little bit of a difference right in the beginning. Maybe you can both talk about how you started off. I think BTs, now remind me what happened in the very beginning. I think you had an extra key and the return spell, I think. So you chose to cast return, and JJ actually went ahead and used the key so that he could initiate the level 1 gold grind. Did you have any thoughts, BTs, about kind of redoing everything once you found that there was gold in the treasury and maybe going for a level 1 grind, or do you kind of not believe in doing that or whatever? You did have a low strength score, but
Yeah, well,
it was
here's
one of
what
your
happened
options.
is I normally walk towards the door and then check my stats. Because I checked my stats on the same square, I got the second key. I checked my spells and then I just accidentally clicked return. There wasn't even a frame difference. It was like I was holding the button down, so I just ran with it.
Oh, really? Okay. It was just a misclick, you feel like? You just go, oh, I guess we're returning now. Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
so
because
devastated to see the one spell that I was thinking of that I just didn't let go of A.
okay. Yeah, because with the extra key, yeah, JJ grinded up about 20,000 in gold, but unfortunately, the towns just were not very close. So it took, and JJ, maybe you can kind of describe what was happening from your end, but it was like you just kept trying to hold on to that gold, and you kept trying to go back and save upon leveling up, just so that you could try and spend it somewhere, and there just wasn't really a good town nearby.
Yeah, I just spent the first 30 some minutes with, 20 some thousand gold. Just new, but I don't know, it's just, one of the decisions you make.
Yeah, and it's funny when you have both the return and the extra key. It's like I don't know. Yeah, there are options, but I guess you ended up finding the metal slime also, right? And it was about 7 or 8 minutes in for you. I think I'm not sure if you heard what we were saying, but BT has found one about 2 minutes in, so it was like a 5-minute head start there.
Yeah. Well, once I'd found the one, I was sitting there thinking, man, I hope this is rare, because I found mine a little ways away from the castle over towards Cole. So I was thinking, when I got that, I'm like, I don't think you'd necessarily come here first thing. So I thought I might have a lead there. So I played a little more conservatively with the gold after finding the metal slime, because I thought, well, now I got a freebie 6 levels, and the armor.
So another interesting decision that came up, BTs, there was kind of in the middle of the game now. I want to say that you had already found Urgic's armor, and you were running around with a hand axe and no shield. And you, I think, chose kind of not to do a traditional gold grind after clearing out maybe the grave. Like you just took a turn and exited Tantegel, and it was like, all right, I guess he's not going to gold grind. And so you already had hurt more. Were you just feeling like it just, and you already had, Erdrick's armor, were you just feeling like it just wasn't necessary? Or, if you could describe that.
I am not a player who relies on or targets the silver shield. I'll only do a gold grind if I wind up into one. Like, you've cleared the grave and now you're dead, and okay, let's grind up the gold and go grab a shield. It's not worth it to me, especially when
I think that's what happened though, but maybe you hadn't seen the shield anywhere, and or maybe you hadn't seen like a good weapon or anything, and the weapon is less useful now that you had hurt more already. But you had hand axe and Urgic's armor and no shield.
Yeah,
and
so
I
with
think you
hurt
did
more,
take the death out of the grave, and you just decide, well, you
so there's
didn't bother.
multiple things going on. If I have hurt more, I'm not gonna focus on getting a weapon. You'll notice I even skipped getting the broadsword for a really long time. And then, because I assumed the seed had a large shield somewhere, that I would just pick that up and be fine.
Yeah, so that was interesting because I feel like JJ, you may have done 2 or maybe even 3 gold grinds along the way. And at one point, I think you saw the flame sword in a shop and decided not to buy it because then you wouldn't have enough for the silver shield. And so then you grind it up afterwards to make sure you had money for both. I don't know, maybe you can explain some of that.
No, that's pretty much exactly what the thought process was.
So that, yes, that was one of the differences in just kind of how you guys approached it. Later on, it seemed like you were just kind of invincible and you just had to collect all the items. So I'm not sure how much there is to talk about there, except for that dive. I don't know. When you watch it back, JJ, you'll see BT's had kind of an eventful dive. That was sort of a nasty Sharlock, and you had to burn 5 or 6 Gilmore. So that was a nice play to get that extra level.
There was no easy decisions to make down there. The biggest problem was just finding the mountain cave and Cantlin.
Yeah, I guess in my head, the end of the game, we were low on MP. So I was thinking to myself, well, in my mind, then let's go get Erdrick's sword, even though I already had Flame Sword, because I want to be able to two-shot as many Axe Knights as possible. And then I figured there must be a big MP gain when I saw BT finish. So I wanted to see it, and that 53 is pretty. That just kind of blew my strategy right out of the water.
I made a big old whelp face when I saw the 53.
Yeah, because I just wasted the last 10 minutes. I mean, I assume you were ahead for the bulk of the race, but I just wasted at least 10 minutes.
I assumed that I had no wiggle room and I couldn't make a mistake, and I was like bonking like crazy trying to get the sword out of the vanilla location. It was I was sweating. I just assumed that because there was metal slimes that you obviously had killed more than me, because why not assume that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to just kind of jolt your adrenaline too, and you're kind of like settling in for what could be kind of a slow start with 5 strength. Now you get the metal slime, and it's just like, oh my gosh, like let me run around and do as many things as possible. And it seemed like it just never stopped because an hour later you're done with the seed. So you guys must have just been like kind of sprinting, and like as you said, you're just like sweating, physically sweating, trying to finish the seed out. So it's always fun to watch a race like that because both runners are just trying to get stuff done so fast.
Whew, yeah, that was definitely a GG. That's for a fast seed. That's how you want to play it. But man, that was extremely stressful. Not like, oh no, let's grind for 2 hours and then go knock over the Dragon Lord. This is a pretty exciting seed.
Nice. So yeah, congratulations, BTs. You're in the quarterfinals, and I'm not sure where you're playing next. Z-Man, I'm not sure. Do you have any idea?
I do. I have it right here, actually. BTs will play the winner of Tilo Tilo and Zarnax 42.
Oh, nice. I'm not sure if that one's scheduled yet or not, but that should be a good match as well. It seems like they're all good matches.
It is scheduled actually for 9 p.m. tomorrow night, Eastern time.
Nice. I know of another race that's happening at 9 p.m. tomorrow night as well. So, yeah.
I wonder why.
Multiple races happening, guys. So yeah, stay tuned. The Randomania networks for all that. We got to finish out this round of 16 and secure our quarterfinal matchups here.
Awesome, guys. GG again, JJ, because it really sucks to lose the seed based on like a horrible lucky metal slime opening, but I mean, it could happen.
That's the game, man. No, GG to you. I hope you take it to Zarnax or Tilo, whoever you get, and Lavcan's happy from last week. Now he's avenged, so I think we're all good. Best of luck to you, and hopefully best of luck to you up to tomorrow. That's gonna be another barn burner.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably an easy victory. I have kind of an easy opponent in front of me, so I don't know how I managed to get matched up with Game Boy, but yeah, that's that'll be fun. A lot of good races coming up, and yeah, I'm gonna hope for the best in that one. We'll see. All right, Z-Man, I don't know. What do you think? Anything else going on, or?
No, I think you guys have pretty well covered it. I mean, I think there was a great race tonight. We got 2 great races scheduled tomorrow. Can't really ask for much more. I think it's a good time to be in this tourney, to be watching the tourney.
I agree with that.
So, all right then, just to remind you guys that we do have 2 races coming up tomorrow night at 9 p.m. We do have Tilo Tilo and Zernex42, and we have my co-commentator Up to No Good versus Game Boy F9. Both those matchups are at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on various Randomania channels. Looking forward to that tomorrow night. So, anything else you have to add before we sign off for the night? Up to.
No, that absolutely. That was a great fast race, and yeah, looking forward to more.
All right, so just real quick, thank you to Lord of the Synth for being our restreamer tonight. Thank you to CyberDark for doing an excellent job with tracking. And I guess for Up to No Good, I am Z-Man050778. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great night.